Hey everyone, Mark Gamer Dude here, and I am with my Sonic brethren talking about Sonic Movie 3 and how we thought about it. Introduce yourself, you guys.
I'm the EternalSamurai. First time on Ed's channel, or I don't know if I can call you Ed here, but anyway,
I know everyone knows it.
okay. Well, I mostly do My Little Pony inspirational videos on my channel. I do have some Sonic ones as well, so if that's your thing, check out my channel and feel free to hit me with a sub. Shameless plug.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Jcr3ative, and I primarily focus on a lot of Sonic fan art and art tutorials. So if you guys are interested in that, then you should check out my channel.
I'm Shadoflare. I talk about really bad video games and I sing songs.
Nice. Alright.
La 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 la.
Brother. Put me out of misery. Okay, so basically I got all these guys together so we can talk about our thoughts about Sonic Movie 3. It's already been like a week or two. Yeah, a week or two. A week or two since the movie came out, and we've already gone through it. We've already gone through de-hyped ourselves because the week it came out, even after watching it, I was still overhyped when I did my solo review. So I needed to talk to other people about it. I needed to. So I just didn't know you guys' thoughts because I have categories: likes, dislikes, and then going into spoiler territory where we want to think about the next movie, because it is confirmed that another movie is gonna be created. So okay, so whoever wants to go first, what were your likes about this movie? And yes, you can go into spoilers too.
You said leave out spoilers, or
Oh no, you can put in spoilers, but there's no way I can leave out spoilers. I need to talk about it.
okay. I guess I'll go ahead and go first about my likes. If I look at the movie from a whole, I mean, hey, it's the SE2 adaptation in a movie, so I cannot complain about that. Being my most favorite game in the series. Also, I feel like it was the best of the Sonic movies that we have so far. On top of that, just when I look at the Sonic movie series in general, I think this is just a great way to introduce just the general audience into the brand, which quite honestly, it's brought a lot of publicity and to bring more Sonic fans to just the entire world. I kind of leaving it super generic. I'm not going super specific into it, so I'll just hand it off to the next person.
Well, yeah, I would definitely agree with you. I mean, while Sonic Adventure 2 isn't my personal favorite game, I am recognizing that it is definitely the most iconic modern Sonic story out of any of the other modern Sonic games, so I think it was a very smart move for them to choose that game to be adapted into a movie. I thought Keanu did a fantastic performance as Shadow, and in general, I feel like they just translated a lot of the SA2 aspects into the big screen. I thought it came out really good.
All right. Speaking as a film enthusiast, I can definitely say this was a very well made film. In fact, it's probably the best made film out of any of the three Sonic movies, like Sonic said. And I think by this point, the effects and the animation on the Sonic characters, is done really well. Shadow, for being so heavily CG'd, he looks like he's really there. And Keanu Reeves' voice really brought a lot to that.
Yeah, I'm 100% totally there. Just the entire film. Speaking of the Sonic castings themselves, I loved how this movie, out of all the movies, this one had the most focus on them and not the humans. I mean, aside from Eggman and Robotnik and Agent Stone, but aside from that, they had the most focus, and I love that. I was afraid that one or the other would be left out, but they had plenty of screen time, especially Tails and Knuckles.
Yeah, Tom and Maddie definitely took kind of a backseat in this movie to an extent. I mean, they didn't really see a whole lot of action until once they got into the whole London part where they were, posing as the agents. So I thought it was really nice that, we got to see the main guys front and center in this movie.
I didn't think about that, yeah.
That's another...
Go on.
Sorry, Zanak.
Go on, yeah.
Yeah, that's another good thing about this movie. It has the least amount of Wade out of any of them.
I was about to say that.
Oh my god.
Oh, wait until we get to the dislikes.
I'm sorry. I may be jumping the gun a little bit here, but I freaking hate Wade.
Okay, I will say that when Wade did show up, people were like, "Oh my god!" in my theater. Not like I heard either groans or laughter or mixture of both. I was both because it was just like only a minute or so at least, but at least they connected the events of the Knuckles show in a quick succession. Not leaning too much into it, but yeah, at least amount of weight. But oh my god. Poor Wade.
No sympathy for Wade.
But I don't hate him, but I understand. So, speaking of the Sonic cast, what did you guys think of Team Sonic's dynamic? Because I felt like they were like truly a big team thing. Like I love that about this film because since in like the previous film, I know they were a team yet, but in the second film, I felt like Tails didn't get enough of screen time. But in this one, he and even Knuckles got a great amount and shined perfectly. I'm glad for that.
Yeah, the chemistry was definitely there, and I think I also appreciated how they also had them show a little bit of vulnerability, like especially when they got to the scene where Sonic and Knuckles were fighting over the Master Emerald. You know, I thought it was great to kind of show that while you are a team and you can be very close, there can be some moments where, you know, tensions kind of get to an all-time high, and you kind of just have to remember that you're a team and that you're supposed to figure stuff out together. So, you know, I'm kind of glad that they kind of snuck in that lesson a little bit.
Yeah, that actually, that's the one thing I like about the movies as far as Sonic's characterization goes. I feel like movie Sonic has more character flaws than game Sonic.
Yeah, throughout like all three of the movies, like you could tell like Sonic's biggest flaw honestly is emotional maturity, and I mean that in a good way because it makes for, you know, a good character development.
Yeah, honestly, I do agree there because even though they are like together a lot in the game, a lot as like the team, in this movie I felt like they were more like a team. I saw a post on Twitter saying that they like the movie Team Sonic than the game Team Sonic, and I'm like, I was thinking about that, like, they do have a good point, but I like their dynamic in this movie. They feel like much like a team, bros even, so, it really got me thinking.
Yeah, I didn't think of that actually, and when you put it in that light, then it actually is a good like lesson to hear and makes for good storytelling. And I feel like even in like just other Sonic media, that specific lesson is not really tapped into.
Yeah, like anger and grief.
Every movie he's kind of been overcoming some negative emotion. Like in the first movie it was loneliness. In the second movie it was, I guess you could say, arrogance or cockiness. In this one it's anger mostly.
You know, I was about to say one other moment where we've seen like Sonic like get consumed by anger. I'm thinking about in Sonic X where he like transformed to Dark Sonic. It was like super brief, but y'all remember what I'm talking about?
Dude, can you imagine if we got Dark Sonic in one of the movies?
I would be static.
I don't think it's ever gonna happen, but if it does, that would be sick.
I feel like that'd be like such a deep cut right there. That'd be like really pleasing to fans.
Deep cut.
Yeah, I was about to say, I liked how they added Maria, and also how I feel like they actually showed more of her dynamic with Shadow in the movie than any other media.
Oh, their dynamic in the movie was so wholesome. I loved it.
Oh yeah, it was very cute. It was like a brother-sister sort of relationship. I felt like it was a more complete picture of their relationship than we ever got in the games, because with the exception of Shadow Generations, I feel like all we ever saw in the games was Maria getting killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maria was very well portrayed in this movie. And what about the changes to her? Because in this movie, she wasn't sick or anything. She was just invited onto the area base she wasn't sick or anything, nothing illness or whatever. But aside from that, what about the other changes? Like when she got killed, that change, I'm kind of glad they went that way. They were almost there, but they did it in a different way. So I'm kind of glad they did that.
Yeah, I was gonna say this might be a hot take. This might be a hot take depending on who you ask, but I feel like their dynamic in the movie was like probably the best version of their dynamic that we've seen in the franchise, honestly.
I'm not sure which death is more brutal, to be honest. Like, giant fire explosion, getting shot in the back. I don't know. Pick one.
Yeah, I mean, the guy was going to use the weapon on her. He was going to, but it alluded to that thing that happened in the movie. But then Commander Walters stopped it. So, in a way, it was there, but not explicit right there. And the explosion, the death was there. The weapon did technically cause her death.
Yeah, the hardcore Sonic fans might have a bone to pick with that decision, but to be honest, I mean, the general idea is there. She died, so.
Jim Carrey as Professor Gerald did sell the tragedy of it.
Yeah. He did Gerald very well. I was actually very surprised at how well he portrayed him compared to Eggman. Though I still wish they didn't. There was a scene apparently cut where it would explain how he was alive after all these years, but we didn't get it. I don't know why they cut it.
Oh, why would they cut that out?
Aw. I honestly would have wanted that.
I kind of figured it was that he was surviving on Shadow's chaos energy by like licking the quill. I figured that was the implication there.
Maybe. That might work. He did have it, so it made sense, but I wish they explained it. But if it's that, then that's great. But again, I wish they didn't cut it.
It really is, and actually, it's a funny thing. I know I wasn't here for the video when y'all talked about the trailer, but I remember when the first trailer dropped, and we saw that Gerald was there. I'm like, wait, hang on, why is Gerald there? And for me, I legit thought it was like Eggman having a hallucination.
Yeah, but you weren't the only one thinking that. Other people thought it would be a time travel or hallucination, like you said, so,
Like, that was my original prediction, but then, like, later trailers came out, like, oh, wait, no, he actually is there. Huh. Well, this is a big change.
Speaking of that video, when I said give Shadow his gun back, I didn't think they were going to listen.
Ah, yes, I'm glad they did it. I am so glad they gave him the gun. Oh my god.
They gave him like a cool looking gun too. It had like a futuristic kind of look to it.
And he used it. He used it!
They weren't messing around.
Oh man, you would not believe how my theater was going crazy when he got on the bike and used the gun. People were flipping out. Oh my god.
That whole chase scene was awesome.
Yeah, the scene where he like kicked it up off of the ground, like that just has so much aura in it. Like,
yeah, that's a meme already. I'm pretty sure, isn't it?
Meme or not, I think it's just an iconic Shadow moment. Honestly, I thought my limited edition Akira slide Shadow poster was cool. I need the gun poster, man. Like,
okay, also in that sequence before that sequence happened, the one thing that I love there is that Sonic said the line when he jumped out of the helicopter. He said it.
Yes,
the whole theater,
yes.
my theater also blew up when he said like, wait, oh my god, he said the line. He said the line from the game.
yeah, in my head I was like, oh, he said the thing.
Okay, I'm gonna be the contrarian here. I actually thought that was kind of forced.
Yeah, maybe.
Boo.
I don't know. I like it when they make the memes. I like it when they put the memes in like a more organic way. Like the best example I think is the Sonic drawing in the first movie.
Yeah, that's a bit better. That actually is right. Like that didn't feel too forced. It didn't feel too like put on there just to put on.
I was about to say, looking back on it now, it was kind of forced in, but at the same time, it's like if you love the games, then you'll love that they put that in. Totally unrelated, but I wonder how the person who created Samick feels about having their creation in the movie.
I don't even know who created Samick anyway. I know we talked about like my stuff from the games already. I had to applaud Jeff Fowler for how he did all the things whenever they reference things from the game, because they referenced that one shot for Shadow the Hedgehog, but he worked on the game.
Just goes to show how far you can go when you actually have someone who's worked on the actual games to give creative input for the movies. So
That's why he made sure this character wasn't dumbed down or toned down or anything. Yeah, wasn't even overly hedgy either. Yeah, he was like this, Shadow, just normal Shadow. Nothing stood out. Nothing. I had like no complaints for the guy at all.
Yeah, that is a good point actually, because like in a lot of the more recent games before Shadow Generations, Shadow's character kind of evolved into like a parody of an edgelord. With Shadow Generations and this movie taking this character like seriously again, it's like, oh yeah, this guy was awesome.
That actually brings up a really funny story. I have one of my friends on TikTok. They kind of went away from the Sonic community for a while, and I don't think they were going to go see the third Sonic movie originally, but they were not very happy about like Shadow's like recent depictions up to this point of just being like, kind of just like a edgy the hedgy character. And then they watched Sonic movie 3 and they were like, oh, we are so back. This is what I have been waiting for. I am back in the community, baby. Like, yeah, I think in general, this technically isn't just movie related, but in general, the Fearless Year of Shadow I think was a smart thing to do. Not just from like a marketing standpoint, but I think just of kind of reminding people why Shadow was such a beloved character in the first place, and kind of bringing everything back to like his true self,
Before I forget, what was one other favorite moment between what's the word Gerald Robotnik and Agent Stone.
Ooh, I need to think about that, but I mean, I will say I like how this movie actually exposed Agent Stone's character more. That's one thing I will say I actually really liked from this movie. But like, if I look at Eggman and Agent Stone in general, I need to think on that one.
I liked when Eggman and Gerald are doing like their little family montage thing. You kind of see Stone lonely in the back, like you can tell he's kind of like jealous of Gerald, I guess.
I did find that one scene funny though, because it was clearly a hologram thing, and like, oh my god, it was a hologram. I thought they were actually there in the areas, but then it was revealed to be a hologram. They're like, oh my god, of course, a hologram.
I don't know how I saw that. I don't know how I saw that coming.
That actually got me. I actually thought that they were actually doing that stuff, and then it cut to them inside like the hologram, and I was like, oh, it really actually had me fooled.
Of course.
I should have known, honestly. Shame on me.
He dropped the lattes.
Oh yeah, the latte. Oh, the poor lattes.
Oh man.
Out of all the human characters, I think Agent Stone is like the most beloved, aside from like Eggman himself, because I see so many people love him, and I like the character too. So, he did get a lot of work with. You just have to wonder what's gonna happen with him now in future media. I don't know. We gotta wait and see. With him, Robotnik and everything, I think Robotnik definitely had a great character arc in this movie, and what happens next, we do not know, because it's up in the air, because just like with the second movie, it was up in the air if Jim Carrey was gonna come back as Eggman. We didn't know. He did. He got him back. So, again.
I will burst your bubble on that one. Someone sent me a tweet saying that Jim Carrey may actually come back for movie 4.
Yeah, I think I saw that tweet too. Actually, he said he needs the money or something.
Was he just being sarcastic though, or was he like being serious?
But let me find that real quick, just so I'm not lying in front of y'all.
Because it would be hard to like not have him back, because Eggman is the main villain of the Sonic franchise. If you get rid of him, what's next? I mean, obviously you gotta have more villains other than him, but it'd be weird not having him around at the same time. So it's still like, it's gotta wonder. It's very hard to say.
Step aside, Eggman. It's time for Infinite to make his big screen debut, baby.
Oh, don't. No. Oh, no. Get out of here. Get out of here, Jake. Get out of here. Get out of here, man.
Do my boy justice.
There's already a good version of Infinite. It's called Mephiles.
Oh, brother. Oh, imagine Reagan being Mephiles.
Alright, I'm just gonna kick Shadow from the group real quick.
that one scene in the Chow Garden where the little girl walks up to Tails and asks, "Are you Detective Pikachu?"
I still can't believe they did
He
that.
does look like a Pokemon. Pika Pika.
Before we go into spoiler territory, like after the dislikes, that way we, go mayhem over them. Okay, so before I go into my dislikes, what are your guys' dislikes about the movie?
How dare this man, Wade Whipple, use the Master Emerald as a freaking hockey puck? The disrespect is real. No, but seriously, I think in terms of dislikes for me, I mean, that honestly, I'm not gonna lie, was one of them, but it only happened for like a minute or two, so it's not that significant. But I remember I was actually talking about this with Shadow in not too long ago, and I know he's about to talk about this too, but Eggman in general in the third movie didn't really seem so much like Eggman, more so he just felt like Jim Carrey cosplaying as Eggman.
Yeah, since you mentioned me, Jake, I'll explain my thought process with that. I feel like as the movies have gone on, Jim Carrey has gotten away from playing Eggman as a character and more just kind of doing his old shtick. You know what I mean?
I honestly felt the same way. That's one of my big dislikes of the movie. It just felt like Jim Carrey more than it did Eggman. The same goes for Gerald too, but go on.
Kind of ironic how the less he looked like Eggman in the movies, the more he actually acted like Eggman.
It's actually like, I think of, in the first movie, he acted most like Eggman. Second movie, okay, he added some sprinkles of like Jim Carrey in there. It's like, but it still felt like Eggman. This felt like the most watered down Eggman I've ever seen.
It's like, hey, it's Jim Carrey dressed as Eggman for Halloween, pretty much.
And this was the movie where I really felt that. Like, in the first movie, despite the fact that he looks nothing like Robotnik, that way he played the character felt the most like Eggman to me. Just has to let the world know how much of a genius he is. That was Eggman. Now it just feels like Jim Carrey trying to make kids laugh by putting on a silly performance.
Because, I mean, yeah, Eggman felt pretty watered down to me. And like they said, it felt more like Jim Carrey. And, okay, maybe I feel like I'm kind of like at a hot take on this, but like, the characters and plot just felt overall more watered down compared to the original source material. Though, I guess on the flip side, they did fill in some of those potholes that SA2 had. But I don't know, it was a much different tone. It felt kind of sillier than serious to me. Like when you look at, say, the SA2 adaptation for Sonic X, like they changed a couple things, but that one felt a lot more one-to-one. Do you know what I mean? Maybe I came in with like different expectations for the movie. I was thinking it was going to be a little bit closer to the details and story plot of SA2, but it felt a little too different to me.
That, and I think also part of it might be if they just followed the exact Sonic Adventure 2 story, then it's kind of like how with like book adaptations, they'll sometimes change some things in the book before releasing it on the big screen. It's kind of like if you've already read the book, then what's the point of go seeing the movie? So I feel like I feel like the intent was maybe they wanted to change some things up just so it gave you a bit more of an incentive to go watch the movie, since it's not exactly, SA2 story bar for bar pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it wasn't gonna be SA2 the movie. I knew that. I mean, they didn't do the Sonic being accused of doing stuff that Shadow and Sonic look alike. They only did that one thing where you look like me a little bit, and that's it. Nothing about it. I mean, Sonic doesn't even say faker, so
yeah, they really don't look that much alike. I don't know how people got them so confused in like the games and Sonic X, You know how earlier we were talking about how they kind of forced in like the talk about no budget flights line? I feel like when Shadow sacrificed himself, that would have been a good opportunity to slide in the Sayonara Shadow the Hedgehog line.
The biggest example of what I'm talking about, the scene where Eggman and Gerald are trying to infiltrate Gun headquarters, and there's this big laser grid, and they like dance through it. I was like, okay, speaking from a filmmaker's perspective, but that's the kind of scene where, like, you don't do this because it feels like an important scene. You do this because because opportunities to have Jim Carrey dancing with himself do not come often.
Yeah, that scene in general is kind of bittersweet for me, because as much as you're right, it was like way too much like Jim Carrey, not enough Eggman. It still had me dying in the theater, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, it was funny. It's just out of character.
There are moments in the movie where it's like it didn't really hit that hard for me, and I think it goes back to that simple principle of show don't tell. Like the whole thing you just said right there with Shadow. And also, like, toward the end of the movie, after, like, they saved the Earth and everything, but when Shadow and Eggman sacrifice themselves and everything, I wish it was just not said. But then Tails like, whoa, Shadow and Eggman sacrifice themselves. I'm like, don't say it. Just let it be.
Oh, let me get into mine. Okay, so I wish the movie was a bit longer, because it was noted that the movie was a bit shorter than movie 2, and I kind of understand that, because this movie has a lot more focus on the Sonic characters, so money, animation is a lot, and there was a lot of animated moments in this, so I can understand that. And then, let's see, aside from that, what were they doing with that Commander Rockwell character? What were they doing with her?
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of forgot about her before you mentioned her, honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah, she was just there to exist,
I
pretty
kind of
much.
keep forgetting about her.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't know what they were going with her.
It felt so weird. I actually thought they were gonna like make this sort of like a bit more of a side plot with her, or she'd be like teaming up with Gerald or something. But no, she's like was there. That was it.
I saw that. I was like, what are people on about? Like, what?
Yeah, like, I thought they were gonna be going somewhere with her, because in the part, you know, where she has everyone in the vault, whatever, she didn't think that, she thought that, you know, Sonic was being bad, that he caused Commander Walter's death. Also, apparently, he died. I didn't know he died. I thought he just passed out, but he's dead.
R.I.P.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought they were gonna go something with her, like she will be a new villain moving forward, but no. Immediately after that scene, we don't see her anymore. That's it. I was actually hoping that that theory of her being Rouge the Bat in disguise was actually true.
I saw that. I was like, what are people on about? Like, what?
If anything, she's probably going to be the movie version of Rouge's partner from Sonic X, if anyone remembers her at all.
But I don't know. That theory was like, I wish it was though. But and maybe you might be right. Might be the Topaz thing. Maybe. This does stretch into spoiler territory, but I need to touch onto it. But it is part of the dislikes. I did not like how they cut the scenes in between the Super Sonic and Super Shadow stuff. When Super Sonic and Super Shadow fighting around, we cut to Gerald and Robotnik fighting. Then we get the super awesome fight scene. The transformation on the moon in an epic way with Live and Learn in the background. And then we cut to Jim Carrey spanking Jim Carrey. And then
I agree with you on that.
And then we got to another Super Sonic and Super Shadow team up, and they're battling it out. We get the amazing pose from the games, and then we cut to Jim Carrey fighting comedically. I'm like, why?
Yeah, they were out of pocket for doing that. I'm not gonna lie.
I remember when the new Godzilla movie first came out, it got a lot of flack for cutting away as soon as a monster fight was about to begin. It's like, guys, clearly you don't know which part of the scene is cooler.
I feel like a better way to approach that whole fight scene was like keep it as like Super Sonic, Super Shadow duking it out for their however long while, and then like as a flashback scene show Eggman and Gerald, doing their shenanigans.
Yeah, I did not like that. Immediately when we got the Live and Learn thing, people were like, oh yeah, everyone cheering in the theater, yes. And then we cut it to spanking. Like, what? What was that? What? I was people were like, what is going on? I know they want to, like, appeal to kids, but kids go to the movie for Sonic. If they see that scene, they're gonna be happy seeing that, not Jim Carrey. It was weird.
Like we were talking about earlier, talking about the Jim Carrey mannerisms, like that was definitely one of them there.
No offense, but this had too much Jim Carrey. That's what the thing. They should have cut it in a different way. If they really wanted to keep it, fine, but cut the Supersonic stuff together and the Jim Carrey thing separate. That didn't make any sense.
Well, like, even then, you could have just shown the two scenes back to back. You didn't need to cut between them. Like, we're perceptive. We can figure out that these two things are happening at the same time. I think a better way to weave Jim Carrey's, like, mannerisms in is sort of like what they did with the Death Egg robot in Sonic 2, where he's, like, attacking in, like, ridiculous fashions, like, with his fingers and stuff. Like, that, to me, felt like the perfect way to weave Jim Carrey into, like, the Sonic.
We stretch into the spoiler Terry zone. So, since I did touch upon it, the Super Sonic and Super Shadow face-off, team-up, showdown, etc. That scene I needed to talk about because when that scene happened, I loved how he literally yeeted Shadow from the arc into the thing. He went straight for the guy like, oh god, here we go. Oh my god, I was so happy seeing that. One thing I need to say real quick that I loved how, because in the trailer where the Shadow says, this ends now, he's normal. But in the movie, it's in super form. Like, oh my god, those people are smart. I hate that they did that. They tricked us with that.
I was gonna say, I hate how trailers do that sometimes. They put lines in like different spots as to where they're supposed to be like intended to be in the movie, and it's like you're giving me like false hope sometimes for like certain scenes. It's like, why?
Oh yeah.
It's like remember the invisible Andrew Garfield in the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer? That's my favorite example.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to say, Shadow punched the emeralds out of Sonic, just like Knuckles. I'm like, oh my god, these are like Knuckles. Oh my god.
Quite literally punched the emeralds out of him.
I found that shocking myself. Like, I did not expect him to be that powerful.
He's the ultimate life form for a reason.
Yep. And it actually kind of shows how powerful he is to do that to Sonic in his super form, even though Shadow wasn't super yet. So I'm like, oh my god, he's that powerful.
He's the ultimate life form because he's Neo. He's the one. But yeah, no, Shadow's power levels are really, like, absurdly good in this. Like, they established early on that he's more powerful than Knuckles in, like, the first fight scene. And, like, they just keep going. Like, this is the version of Shadow where all that ultimate life form bravado feels earned, you know?
Yeah, I mean, coming from the guy with the Knuckles profile picture, and as someone whose favorite character is Knuckles, he had no business going up against Shadow like that.
It's like power scaling, right? Because, like, in Sonic 2, they introduced Knuckles, and he's way more powerful than Sonic, and then Shadow's, like, a step further.
Does this mean Amy's going to be more powerful than Shadow?
How'd you guys think about the sequence when they both transformed at the same time? And Live and Learn played in the background. My theater, me and my cousins, we were flipping out. Oh my goodness, the entire theater. I loved it. And that's how you show the Sonic fandom loves the thing. They knew the fans, and I'm glad they put Live and Learn, because if they didn't, no. I would have been pissed off.
I mean, yeah. There's not much to say about that, but in a good way, because we were all expecting it, and we were all very glad that it happened, and it was just as epic as we had imagined it. So,
oh yeah, it felt ripped straight from the game. It was awesome.
You got the pose.
I'm really glad they did that. Like, it was definitely a tribute to the fans. But now that you say all this, like, just watch me do this. I'm gonna, like, make a quick little meme and have that scene, but put the My Little Pony theme in the background.
No, get out of here.
Know what you should do? No, seriously. You know what you should do? The final battle theme from Rainbow Rocks.
Oh my god, you guys. Crazy. Okay.
you You have a bunch of MLP fans talking about the Sonic movie. This is what you get.
Oh,
So
brother.
There is a fair bit of overlap between those two fan bases.
So So I know, Jake, you brought up Amy earlier. So we have to talk about the post-credit scene because, oh my goodness, I did not expect those two to show up. Oh my god, in the best way possible.
I'll admit I didn't see it coming either.
well, that was partly a prediction that we had in the last video that we did, because when we were talking about end credit scenes, yeah, I remember we were talking about how it might be Metal Sonic, and while I was definitely expecting Metal Sonic in the end credits, I can definitely tell you I was not expecting Amy, despite all of the rumors of her eventually being in the movie franchise.
I will say, like, I was gonna say, like, I was really excited to see Metal come up, and I was like, oh, he may come. Okay, he's here. This is amazing. But then I was not expecting the whole army of them. Like, oh, okay, I love this twist.
Yeah, that part was weird.
This is where I get to flex my Sonic knowledge a little bit. That might be something from the Fleetway comics. Because there's like this army of Metal Sonics called the Brotherhood of Metallics. They might be doing that.
Metal Sonic brings up a lot of questions, aside from Amy also, but Metal Sonic mainly, like, he has a lot of questions because, I will say real quick, Metal Sonic, he looks incredible, like, straight out of the games. Straight out of the games.
I like that too.
He might be the most closely resembling his video game counterpart so far, if that's what he's gonna look like.
Imagine if like he turns into Neo Metal Sonic like halfway through the movie. Like that'd be awesome.
Oh, if we get Metal Overlord in the next movie, I'm going to cry tears of joy. Do not put that in my mind. I don't want to be predicting that, please.
Okay, we're giving him too much. We're giving him too much hope. Okay, we need to pull back.
Yeah, pull back a little bit, reel it back.
Please. Metal Sonic has a lot of implications because where did he come from? Who created him? How did he get there? Why is he there? It got me. We were like, me and my cousin were going back and forth, wondering how the flip is he there?
Well, I remember when we were talking about our, or in the last video that we did, the part where Eggman gets one of Sonic's quills. I feel like that might have something to do with it.
Maybe, though. I feel like I shouldn't theorize too much this time because I was completely wrong about the chaos thing.
I think I know people have said that it will adapt maybe the Sonic CD plot because it involves time travel. Maybe Metal Sonic come from the future to take out Sonic before anything. That's the only thing I can think of, maybe. But
I honestly think they're just gonna do like a fusion of CD and Heroes for the next movie.
Now I had to talk about the Lady in Pink, Amy showing up. When the Pink Thing hammer came up, my theater. Oh, I wish I was able to record that because so many people were screaming high pitched. Oh my god.
Dude, same here. Like everybody in my theater was so fucking excited to see Amy.
Yeah, this might be a hot take. I honestly really wasn't that hyped. I'm gonna be completely honest.
Get out of here! Get out of here! You're not a Sonic fan. Get out!
No. Okay, listen. I know there's been like a bunch of rumors about like how she could eventually be like weaved into the universe. I guess it's just Amy was never really a character that I've ever really been attached to. So, you know, I don't really see it as like a good or a bad. It's just kind of like, oh, cool, she's there.
I kind of feel that, especially in the early days where she was pretty much nothing but like simping for Sonic. Like, there's no better way to put that. Have my babies, Hedgehog.
Borderline Sonic stalker.
Yeah, I was gonna say along with that after this third movie, I feel like just the movies in general they're gonna have a hard time living up to the hype and how significant the third movie was. So I'm still gonna watch them, of course, but yeah, to your point, that's kind of how I feel too.
I think Paramount's got to be careful because there has been a lot of Sonic content this year, and there's still a lot more coming with like the Justice League crossover and everything. So like, if we're not careful, we could speed run towards Sonic burnout.
Make like a Amy side game or something.
Yeah, her arc in Sonic Adventure was probably her best one, honestly. Are we gonna get a year of Amy?
Yeah, that's probably honestly part of the reason why I wasn't super attached to her. I probably thought she was like kind of annoying for that, honestly. Annoying, kind of creepy, stalkerish. But actually, that also kind of leads me into like a bigger thought, which I know it's still very early because we just got the third movie. It's only been like 2 weeks. You know, the fourth movie's not coming out until like 2027. I have a pretty good suspicion that the fourth movie just really isn't gonna do that good compared to the third movie. Just because I feel like, you know, all the hype surrounding the third movie and that Shadow was gonna be like one of the main antagonists, and like, you know, we already had like the whole Fearless Year of Shadow, even hyping it up even more. So Sonic Movie 3 was definitely the most anticipated for sure. But I feel like Metal Sonic and Amy as characters don't really hold like the same weight of significance that Shadow does. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I see what you mean by that, Jacob. I mean, I think it was like actually coming because sometimes like not all films are gonna be great as better than the other one. This so far, the Sonic movies have like a track record where the next movie is always better than the other movie and the previous movie, etc. So the third movie is way better than the second one, but with the fourth one, of course, it's way too early to tell like what else is going to be involved, and we don't know who else is going to be involved. But with Metal Sonic and Amy, you have to wonder like what is the plot going to be, because while Metal Sonic is an iconic character, and even though Amy does have her fans, they aren't as, you know, big as a big story thing as, you know, Shadow has. So it really depends on what the plan is for them, because from what I read in Sonic CD, Amy only came to like see Sonic because she had like a reading from her card that he needed help. So maybe that's how it will be in this plot, that she came to help him for whatever reason, because of her readings or whatever. But still though, there's still like a lot of plot things with her that we need to like figure out, including Metal, because Metal Sonic, you know, even though he's just like a character, kind of, his only thing is like he wants to be better than Sonic, but we don't know if how he will be like properly adapted. Heck, I don't even know if he's gonna be even talking. Is he gonna talk? Is he gonna have a voice?
If anything, from like the Sonic OVA, but I also think they might add that line from Sonic OVA.
Oh god, they're gonna do it. If they're gonna do that, they're gonna do
That
that.
one.
I see them doing that. They're gonna do it. They're gonna do it.
Strange, isn't it?
They have to. It's like iconic, but known all over. I didn't even watch that movie, but I know that thing, but it's been around for so long. Yeah, plus, what about the lava scene? When Metal Sonic sacrifices, so like there can only be one. He's gonna do that. It's gonna happen in the fourth movie. It might happen.
I feel like at this point that's kind of a deep cut too, if they do decide to do that.
Okay. I guess I'll leave like more. I'll say more of my thoughts for the next thing. So, one, we already know Shadow's gonna be alive. He's alive, so he's alive. What do you think is gonna be happening with him next? Because I don't know if they're gonna do the amnesia plot. I don't think they are, but they might. And I don't know, because I don't know.
It doesn't seem like they are, and I hope without the amnesia plot that at least means we won't get that stupid Shadow Android story either. It's like, I really, really hated that.
I don't think they are. I don't think they are, because there aren't anything unless Gerald built those while he was locked up somewhere. I don't know, but I don't think they're gonna do that. But with Shadow out and about, I don't know.
I actually kind of thought they might go that route personally, but anyway, that's all I had.
I hope that down the line, Shadow does bump into his buddies one day. I hope. I want them.
A certain robot and a certain Batgirl.
Yes, if they don't bring them in, they do not love Sonic fans. They do not love Sonic fans. If they don't, then why? Why?
Don't forget about Shadow's best friend, Big the Cat. He smiled when he saw him in the game.
A thing from Jeff Fowler saying that they wanted to bring in Rouge or Big, but they couldn't find the time or the way. So it's a plan.
I love how the debate is between Rouge and Big, not Rouge and like Omega or like some other character.
If the next thing is going to involve time travel, I 100% believe that Silver will be in the credits. Okay, I believe it. It's going to happen. With time travel, he can come in saying, "You mess with the timeline, and now I have to kill you."
End credits for Sonic Movie 4. I finally found him. The Iblis Trigger.
Literally.
Paramount, we have a pitch for you. It's Terminator with furries.
Bruh, get out of here.
Why are you booing him? He's
Before we go off the
right.
rails, anything else you want to say before we go off the rails, guys?
All my complaints about the movie aside, anything that coins the term revenge guac is peak frickin' cinema.
Revenge
Oh, yeah,
guac.
revenge guac.
It seems like we are going a bit off the rails now, so I got to say my off the rail comment. Imagine if they put the "I've come to make an announcement" reference in there.
I'll admit when the scene where Eggman gives his big like sacrificial speech on the big jumbotron or whatever, I was very tempted to just stand up and shout, "I've come to make an announcement."
Shadow the Hedgehog is a nuisance of a hedgehog. He tried to tickle my sickly wife.
One last remark I have: the fact that they made the Chow Garden like a Chuck E. Cheese style restaurant.
I want to go to one now. They should, you know how they do the Sonic Speed Cafe? They need to do like a Chow E. Cheese pop-up thing. Chow, I don't know what they called it. I'm calling it Chow E. Cheese.
I guess real quick, as one last thing, not totally off the rails, but one last remark. I will say that I wish that they didn't kill off Commander Walters, because I was hoping he would get a moment with Shadow, because he did try to save Maria and, from being shot at, so it would have a moment between them that, because Shadow, at the time, he thought Tom was Commander Walters, so he seemed to have a grudge against him, but since they didn't get a moment together, there was no moment when, like, Shadow, I know your pain, I tried to stop it, everything was wrong, you didn't see me try to stop it, but I did, we didn't get that, unfortunately, but he was killed off, like, literally minutes in the beginning of the movie, so...
Why do I feel like that scene would have ended with the Commander giving Shadow an Olive Garden gift card?
No!
What?
Dude, how come they haven't done
that's
a
solution to
collab with
everything in
Olive
these
Garden
movies.
yet?
Just send him a gift card.
Okay, so I think I already got, like, all my things out right now. So, I'm gonna leave it off with one thing. My prediction for Sonic 4, I don't know what it'll be called, but I just hope for a good thing. I don't know who they're gonna cast as Amy. Whoever it is, I hope she does a good job. But if Melisonic is going to speak, please get a very, very, very good one, or a video game actor, or get Ryan Drummond to reprise his role or something, because I'm afraid of someone like, I don't know, someone out of pocket to voice Meadow.
Maybe get like Josh Brolin or someone with like a naturally deep voice like that. I don't know. I'm just spitballing.
Tom Holland.
God
Okay,
damn it,
okay,
Jake!
okay.
I swear to God.
Where's the block button? Where's the block button? Where's the block button?
So you guys are saying you don't want Michael Cera to voice Metal Sonic?
Damn it, Jake! Shut up!
Have fun.
Overall, I would say solid 8 out of 10. Like, great movie. Definitely gonna pick it up on Blu-ray. I have complaints, but they're ultimately nitpicks.
Oh man, y'all are gonna hate me for this, but I'm like a 5 or 6 out of 10.
Wow, I'm literally the closest to a 10. I'm 9.8 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in like the same boat as Shadow. It's just like a bunch of little like nitpick things, but I mean, 9 out of 10. That's still an A. So like, that's an A rank. That's not bad. It's good actually.
I don't know if this was gonna be your next question, Ed. Of the 3 movies, I'd say this is my second favorite. I still like 2 the best, I'd say.
What?
I'm sorry. As a fan, they're both on like equal ground in terms of fan stuff. I just think 2 is a more solidly constructed film. That's the ex-film student in me talking.
Honestly, I'm in the same boat. Like, I think I like 2 more personally.
No, 3 definitely clears all of them. 3 is definitely the best one.
I guess one last thing I'll say, if if we're getting more Sonic characters, that means we're going to be getting way less focus on the humans in the next one. Way less. So...
No more Wade!
Also, probably a ton more spin-off shows.
Yeah, so eventually it's going to branch off from live action animation. I mean, obviously, if they're going to show Eggman coming back, then obviously live action, with him, but, less on the human world eventually, so... we'll have to wait and see for that, but I think it's going to happen. Way less focus. No offense to Tom and Manny, they're fine, but you get what I mean.
If you decide to make a chaotic spin-off, please make it good and do it justice, unlike Knuckles.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel like they're kind of running out of stuff for those characters to do.
Okay, so my last pinpoints before we get out here.
Off the rails comment, but like, what if they got like Scourge from the comics? But what if they did like a side series like Scourge with like, you remember the Pistol Pete Whipple character from the Knuckles series?
Scourge and Pistol Pete, that is a combo that I did not expect to be brought up together. God, oh my god. Don't, you about to make me crash out, bro. Don't get me like this right now.
What's the matter, Jake? You don't want to Wade in a chaotic show? Oh, come on, Wade and Wade am being trained with SBO on ninja stuff, and then Wade singing the chaotic theme song.
Since we're playing that, how about a Silver the Hedgehog spin-off show where he teams up with the wedding girl from the second movie?
No, she's a queen. She's an icon. No, she's a strong, independent woman. We love her. I love her way more than I love Wade.
Yeah, Silver would get along with her. Silver would love her, I think.
Silver needs a strong, independent woman in his life.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Sonic fans, thanks for watching this. And if you haven't watched a Sonic movie, go watch it. Because if you haven't watched it, then what are you doing? Go watch it.
If you don't see Sonic 3 in theaters, Shadow will burn you with his revenge Glock.
What are you doing? It's 2025 already. Go.
That's one thing I'm going to end off. I wish they said it's Chaos Control, but it's okay. Probably next time.
He just needs Revenge Glock to do Chaos Control.
Chaos Glock!
Oh, brother. All right, Sonic fans, take care, and thanks for watching.